How can you make funny videos when our country is being bombed, or when our people are being executed, or in general when human history has been made up of mostly suffering and misery? This question isn't all that common these days, but a friend recently told me that I was un-Iranian because I was making cute jokes on the internet while Iran was suffering tragedy. First of all, thank you for recognizing that I'm cute. Un-Iranian. I don't know, I guess it must be the Kurdish side exclusively that makes jokes to help cope with sad things. Or maybe it's the Jewish part, which famously uses dark humor to get through dark situations. Though Iranian Jews and Catskills comedians aren't exactly the same. Or maybe I'm just following the example of all the old Iranians throughout my life who I've watched crack jokes on their own literal deathbeds. You know, calling the wretched hospital food kufti in the face of inevitable demise, referring to their own fragile mortality because everyone else in the room is afraid to. Or maybe because I've never been able to go to Iran, I'm just following the example of all the Iranian films I've seen that tackle heavy subject matters while acknowledging that 90% of regular life is made up of people not sitting morosely in the corner but telling jokes to keep the depression at bay. Or maybe I'm following the example of the textual tradition of my people, like 17th century Judeo-Persian poet Aminah, who weaves humor and wordplay through his sad boy poems about divorce and loneliness, who interrupts his own poem about exile to absolutely roast the citizens of his most hated city, Hamadan, or of the most interesting Persian Jew of all time, besides me, Sarmad Kashani, whose poems are littered with purposefully goofy imagery despite his clear depressive tendencies, or of Shaheen or Khayyam or Zakani or countless other Persian poets who lived through war, famine, and destruction and still wrote humor into their literature. Or maybe Iranians are just like anyone else, using humor subversively to deal with difficult situations, and pushing on with the agenda of teaching people weird fun stuff about their cultures despite and because of what's going on in the world. Or, you know, between being Jewish and Iranian, I can't wait for every tragedy to pass before I'm allowed to make jokes again. That would make life so tragic. It's already tragic. I'm supposed to add to that? By the way, I think it's perfectly okay for all the people who have been expressing sadness and anger, and I would never want to be disrespectful to those who are suffering more than me. But it is human to express other things too. It is Iranian. Last I checked, Iranians are human. Even though in my last video I said they were werewolves, but that's a whole other subject. Go watch that one. It's funny, despite the tragedy. See, I'm making a sad face while I'm dancing. That's the whole bit. It's sad and funny, and, you know, they can both exist. Oh, our history is depressing anyway. We don't have to add to it. I'm funny. Oh, we're funny.